Welcome all of us to this two-day meeting. I'm sure you're wondering why we're here. But some people know why we're here, some don't know why we're here. But I will tell you why we're here. First of all, let me tell you about HDI for those of you who don't know about HDI. Human Development Initiatives is a not-for-profit organization. We have been around for almost 18 years, working on social development issues, governance. We give free legal services, psychosocial counseling, we do training, we publish reports, and we engage with the community. We're very well known in this area, in the mainland, generally. We've done a lot of projects on different areas, including working with schools, working with widows groups in markets and in churches, working with students, working with community-based groups and associations to look at ways by which we can improve governance and the rights of poor people and vulnerable people in our society. A few years ago, we realized that in order for us to have the kind of society and environment that we want, we need to engage a bit more with our government. We need to know how we're being governed a little bit more, and we need to ask questions. And one of the key questions we need to be asking is how our money is spent. We need to ask questions about how our money is spent. Before I proceed, I would like to advise that we all either put our phones on silent or vibrate. Let's agree together that if your phone rings, you will buy everybody a recharge card. So I'm giving you 1 minute. Take your phone, put it on silent or vibrate. So that if it rings, you are the only person that knows. You know there are many types of ringtones. Some ringtones will scare all of us out of bed. You think somebody died. Or you think somebody brought the baby to this meeting because the baby will begin to cry. So please, can we just put our phones on vibrate or silent? Okay, so a few years ago, when we started out, we were working with, as I said, widows, women, young people whose rights are affected. But we found out that many of the things that happen to them, if we are properly governed, those things will not happen. It's very simple. For example, a child who is supposed to be in school is hawking on the road. And as a result of which the child may be raped or sexually abused. When you begin to investigate, the long and short of it is poverty. And the child is on the road because of poor governance. So we decided that if we are going to be able to make an impact with the support of those who are supporting us, we must find out how our money is spent in different areas. And because we work closely with the communities, we have partners who work at state level, we have partners who work at the national level. One of the persons who will be talking to you later today, Victor, from Abuja, he represents an organization that is also doing the kind of thing we're doing, but at the national level. How is our money being spent? So about 3 or 4 years ago, we designed a project. And that project essentially was to look at local government budgets and finance. Nigeria is not going to develop from Abuja. Nigeria is going to develop from Iwaya, to Yaba, to Shomolu, to Ikeja, to Etiosa. That's how Nigeria is going to develop. If you look towards Abuja for development all the time, that development will be very slow and very painful. The development that can affect you and I immediately is the development that is close to us. And that means when money is budgeted, whether small or big, whether adequate or inadequate, let's just use it well. When you get small and you use it well, what happens? You get more. When you get small and you don't use it well, you lose it. For those of you who are Christians, you know the parable of the talents. The master was going away and gave talents to his servants. One person got one and buried it. One got one and turned it to 2. One got 5 and turned it to 10. The one who got one and buried it, it was taken away from him and given to the man who already had more than enough. What am I trying to say? Nobody should tell us that local government don't have enough money, that's why there's a problem. Our argument is that you have some money, no matter how small, use it well first, and then there's no doubt that you will get more. But if you say it is too small, and then you don't use it well, you will never get more. In fact, it will continue to go down. Because the argument will then be that you don't know how to use the money now, you have not been using it well. So one of the things we decided to do is to engage communities. It is very easy for all of us to criticize Jonathan in Abuja and to criticize the governor in Ikeja. But what about those who are working with us? It is good for us to look at what they are doing. They also are interested in us seeing what they are doing, and we want to be able to give them an opportunity to say this is what we are doing and this is how we are doing it. The second thing that we noticed is that every year at the federal level there is a budget. Right now the budget for the year 2014 is being prepared and has been sent to the National Assembly. At the state level, the budget for the year 2014 is being prepared. It will be sent to the House of Assembly. What about the budget for 2014 for the local governments? They also have budgets. They get money from the Abuja. They collect internally generated revenue. Whether small or big, don't look at that yet. That's not the issue. But they do get some money. Part of this project is to say, if you get 10 naira from Abuja and you raise 2 naira, tell us how you want to spend it. We're not going to force you how you are going to spend it. After all, Fashola is the one who is deciding how next year's budget will look. But whatever he decides, we want to be able to encourage him to make sure that he does it. So that if in Yaba local government, for example, our chairman says, look, next year I will get 5 naira from Abuja and I plan to raise 2 naira, I have 7 naira. I will build the wire road and I will sink a borehole in Butemeta. That's what he wants to do, no problem. So we will encourage him to do it. If at the end of the year he has not done it, we should be able to ask him, sir, you said you were going to do the wire road and do borehole. Why didn't it happen? He should have some credible, sensible, honest answer. If he does not, we should be able to ask him, so what happened to the allocation? Because my car will get spoiled on the wire road. I'll spend more money on the mechanic. If the road is bad, I'll spend more time to get to my house and to come to my office. If the road is bad, people who have businesses on this road will lose customers because of not being able to. I would rather go and buy somewhere else. So there are multiplier effects for poor governance and poor accountability. And who is best able to do this? It is the community development associations. People who have of their own volition decided that they cannot leave their communities the way they are. They come together, they discuss. I used to be the secretary for my street CDA when I was living in Akoka. I religiously kept the minutes. I'm a lawyer. I work in the university. But I was very happy to do it. I did it for several years, almost 10 years. And it helped me to know that if you don't help yourself, nobody will help you. You have to help yourself first. And the Yoruba people say, if you help yourself, then you get help from other people. So the truth of the matter is that if we don't make an effort to find out how things are done, nobody will leave their office to come and tell you. You must ask. So we decided that we will work with the communities to encourage them to take an interest instead of just sitting back at home and criticizing or going to church or mosque and praying. God is not going to come down from heaven to come and build road. God is going to ask you, The people you put there, if they didn't build the road, do you want to come and build the road? Okay? So we have to help God to help us by doing our bit, and then God will do his bit. So coming to this realization, we decided to set up what we call, first of all, we developed a manual on budget. What is a budget? Because we know that many people don't even know what the budget is. They don't know how a budget is prepared. They don't know how they can look at a budget. They don't know where they can get the budget from. When this project started, one of the first things we started to ask, where is the local government budget? If you go online, you will find the budget of Nigeria. If you go online, you find the budget of Lagos State and many states. If you go online, you will not find the budget of a single local government. So in 2010, we started asking questions from the local government where we are working with. We're not working in the whole country. We want to start an idea that we hope will catch fire and spread. Starting with Yaba, where we are, we went and met them. Do you have a budget? They said they have a budget. So where is the budget? You cannot hide the budget under the table. It is the budget that you are using to govern me. If I recognize Jide Jimo as my chairman and as the political leader, you must have a budget. You want to lead me, you must tell me how you want to lead me. You cannot lead me with a budget that is hidden and under the table. Put the budget in the public domain so that we know how much money you want to spend. As I said earlier on, the decision about how best to spend the money is yours. No how. But at least I'm interested in what you want to do. So if you don't build my road this year, there's next year, I will wait. If you don't build my road next year, there's the year after, I will wait. Our prayer is that we will live, we will not die. So we will wait to see development. So we went to Yaba, and after much pressure, we got the budget and we put it on the internet. We put it on the internet. We got the budget out of there. This is what we're expecting. This is what we will generate. This is how we will use it. Very good. That's what people want to know. Second thing we did, and we did that not only for Yaba, we did the same thing for Etiosa and some of the local governments where we are working outside Lagos. You've heard during the introductions, a few people came from Abuja, from Enugu, we have Edo, we have Delta, we have Kwara. These are places where we're working. Doing the same thing, trying to call attention to the fact that development will come from the bottom. It doesn't come from the top. Anywhere in the world, there is nowhere in the world where development and growth has come from the capital. It has come from communities. And if you do not give communities opportunity and power and resources to do their work, they will never be growth. We will all be struggling. And since I am tired of the problems, let's change the way we are doing things so that we can begin to call attention. So the second thing that we did, apart from asking for budget, so one of the things we'll be encouraging our CDAs and representatives is to get the budget for your local government. It is a right. You need to know. After all, you are paying tax, and that budget is part of your tax. Get the budget. If you don't understand the budget, one of the things that we do is to break down budgets, to analyze it, and to put it in the public domain. So that if the budget is 10 naira, fine, we can say, oh, in terms of priority, we think you should be using it this way. But the final decision is yours because you are the leader. We will not force you. But we can advise and say, look, this 10 naira is better spent. If you do this, you will earn more. Next year, it will not be 10 naira, it will be 20 naira because you have spent it wisely. But if you choose to spend it this way, no trouble. We want to see that it is also spent in the way that you have said you will spend it. The second thing we tried to do in the past 3 years was to also give communities and the local government a voice. We have partnership with radio stations, especially in Lagos. And when we went to Lagos, Eko FM, for example, they told us that they had a program called Access 57. And Access 57 was created to enable local government chairmen, LCDA chairmen, to come and say what they are doing in their communities, so that people can also talk to them, interact with them, ask questions, and they can answer those questions. Because anywhere where you claim to be a leader, if you don't share information, there will be rumor. There will be plenty of rumor, and you spend all your time trying to correct wrong information because you have not given an opportunity for the correct information. In your house, if you have a wife and 3 children, and you don't tell them anything about what you are doing, whether you have money for school fees, there will be rumor under your roof, and there are only 5 of you. And the rumor can be malicious to the extent that I'm a popular issue. Say, anything on Jack, we don't know where you go. There must be information sharing. So one of the things we did was to give community members a voice to come to radio, to explain what are their challenges, how are they doing their community associations, what would they like government to do, and at the same time, we encourage local government to come to radio and say what they are doing. And Jide Jimo appeared on one of those radio stations. The radio told us that they did not believe that any local government champion, because they don't want to come because they have nothing to report. But we insisted that whether small or big, local governments are doing some things. The other local governments are poor information managers. Because the little that they are doing, they are not even sharing it for anybody to know. Granted that there is a lot of stealing going on there too. We are not saying they are not stealing money. They are stealing money at local, state, and federal level. But the more we call attention to what is going on, the more the thing has to go down. It is in our interest and your interest. So after much interaction with Mr. Jide Jimo, he came to radio, and he himself was pleasantly surprised. People asked him questions, they praised him for coming. Things they did not understand, he asked them, he explained to them, and he realized that many people had the wrong impression outside. And that he had gotten a very good opportunity to come and explain what governance is. Sometimes people say, they've given them 10 billion, which is not true. You know, but Nigerians prefer to believe the worst of their leaders, because leaders are not encouraged us well in the past. But a lot of the things that people peddle around, they are not true. They are not true. But if you don't correct that impression, you can only have yourself to blame. You shouldn't blame anybody. So that is another thing that we did. The third thing that we did, we know that many people have information to share. But some people are afraid of sharing information. Say, if they know that I'm the one that said the IGR is 1 million, they can beat me. If they know that I'm the one that said the road is bad. But do you want to die on the bad road, or do you want to talk? For those who want to talk and they don't even know who to talk to, we created a website. I know website may sound like a big word, especially for our daddies and mommies who are here. But our prayer is that before you die, you will know how to use website. Because if you know how to use cell phone and you know how to do text message, when I was in the university, there was no cell phone. Today there is cell phone. Today there is internet. Many of our elderly ones have cell phones. Some of them do text message. I know most of them don't do text message. They prefer call me. You know, I have a very elderly senior. He's 85 now. And every month I send him a message to bless him. So one day I went to visit him with my wife. And he said, Tolaji, you have passed after me. I said, but I sent you a message last week. I said, okay. You know what? Those text messages after me, I don't read them. So he brought his phone and gave it to me. There were 65 messages on red. There were 65 messages on red. He had not opened any of them. He said the messages were too much. He said, you know what? Just call me. I said, okay, sir. I understand now that you won't read any of those messages. Okay? So I understand that some of our elderly ones can't do the trouble of the SMS, but they can get their children to do it. They can get those who are around them who are younger to do it, especially because they are leaders. Many of you who are here, if not all of you are here because you are a leader in your community. That's why you are sitting in this room now. And if you are a leader and you have a handicap, you must deal with it so that you can be a good leader. So that if, for example, they call for a meeting of leaders of community development association, these days meetings are called by SMS. Is that not so? We don't need to write letter. And if because you don't read SMS, they held the meeting behind you. And all the decisions they took it behind you. All the benefits they got it behind you. You should blame yourself that you are a leader who is not up to date in modern technology. So what you must do is to work with people who will make sure that you don't lose out. So I'm saying this for the benefit of the elderly ones who are in our midst. So that if we send messages or communication to you, if you know you don't use your SMS, or you can't read very well, Make sure once a day, your phone will give you a message to more possible. Now, I said we created a website. That website is to give opportunity for people to talk from across Nigeria. And one of my colleagues will be taking you through that website and how it works today, later today, and even maybe tomorrow we'll talk about it. One of the things that you can do with that website is that even if you don't have access to internet, you cannot go to cyber cafe, you can send a text message and it will go on that website. You will see some of the messages that we received in the past 2 years, some of them in Yoruba. People would text message to us and say, look, our road is very bad. Can you help us tell our chairman to help us? What we try to do is to collect those messages and send them to the right quarters, so that people will know what is happening. Although we also encourage those who live in those communities, please contact your own leaders. They want to hear from you. Lagos State has done something that no other state in Nigeria has done. They put the phone numbers of all the SCDA chairmen in the newspaper. If you want copies, I will give all of you before you go. Numbers of commissioners, including Fashola himself and permanent secretary. Nobody should say I cannot reach anybody in Lagos anymore. Because before, the complaint used to be, oh, I could not reach my chairman, I could not reach my commissioner. But that in Lagos, as far as Lagos State is concerned, it's over. We are trying to collect the phone numbers of cabinet members, local government chairmen, especially those places where we're working, through our contacts. And some of them are here, they are listening to me. So that when we get those messages from people, we will send it to them and say, this is what your people are saying. Don't say you didn't hear. This is what people are saying. And I will encourage that someone makes a copy of the local government, all the numbers, give to everybody. So that if you want to reach anyone, you have access. One of the advantages of the website is that if you cannot, as I said, go to a cyber cafe or use the internet, you can do an SMS and send it to a particular number. That number is linked with our website. Thank you, madam. You will buy a chat card. There's no doubt about it.
The problem is I don't know how to. I just want
it's a Chinese book. So, one of the things you can do is do an SMS. If you do an SMS, it will go straight to that website. We have linked a number, a phone number to that website. And in the past 2 years, we had market women, taxi drivers, people, virtually everybody has a phone these days. They were able to send text messages. Also, when we do radio programs, we announce a number by which you can call in. And in the course of the next 2 years, we will be inviting some of you as community leaders to appear on one radio program or the other. Also to answer questions, because it's very easy to accuse your leaders that they're not doing anything. But it's good for us to also be able to ask you, what are you doing yourself? If you, as I said earlier, you use the small opportunity that you have to do what you can, you have made your own little change in the area where you can make a change. Number 4, in the past 2 to 3 years, we set up community representatives in the local government areas where we are working in 6 states in Nigeria, 12 local governments. 6 states in Nigeria, 12 local governments. Lagos, we had Etiosa, we had Mainland, and the LCBAs that were under them. We had Abuja, we had Gwagwalada, we had Enugu as one of the states, we had Delta, we had Kwara, we had Edo State. After 2.5 or 3 years, we have learned some lessons. One of the lessons that we learned is that sometimes when you are trying to help people, they respond as if they are doing you a favor. Everybody about me. She won't know my father, be welcome. When everybody about me, two of my police don't know about my father. How do we should Baba a favor? We discovered that people thought that they were doing us a favor by trying to find out about how they were being governed so that things can be easy for them. If governance goes well, as we all, some of us as parents will pay less for school fees. Because when they say free education, it will be truly free. It will be free in advertisement, but when you get to school, they say bring this, bring that, bring chair, bring table. It's no longer free. Okay? So if we do what we're supposed to do, it is in our own interest. Governance will improve for us. So we discovered that some of the community representatives thought they were meeting because HDI said they should meet. Simply, we read all the reports, and we looked at all the initiatives, and we looked at all the efforts. We got some feedback directly and indirectly. And so we thought that going forward, even though we got some positive outcomes, going forward, we have better changed our style. Because some people thought that the meeting is because of HDI, so HDI must pay transport money for them to come and meet and talk about the local government. You are the one who doesn't have any water. You don't want to hold a meeting to discuss it, and somebody has collected money and is robbing you. It's not helpful to you, it's not helpful to us. So we decided that after consultations with political leaders, with people who have done research in the past, we decided that we will work more with Community Development Association. There is no Community Development Association represented there today that we set up. You set yourselves up because of your own needs. Is that not so? So whether or not HDI invited you, you will be having your meetings to discuss your own issues. Is that not so? Correct. So we have decided that we will work with Community Development Association because Community Development Association have their own interest. They are interested in their own security. They are interested in their own development. They are interested in their own neighborhoods. They have been holding meetings before HDI was created. And when our project is no longer there, they will still be holding meetings because there are things that bind them together. Some of you build houses in those areas where you are community leaders. If you want to have a tenancy, the house must be in a neighborhood where people can live. If the place is not safe, nobody will rent your house. It's very logical. But if the place is safe, people will rent your house. You will get good rent and you can live a decent life. So it is in your interest as well as it is in mine. So we decided going forward that we will work with Community Development Association. We will train them, we will give them information, we will give them IEC materials, and we will work with them to improve governance and the budget process in their communities. That is the reason why we have invited you to this meeting. What is happening here today in Lagos, which will be today and tomorrow, is going to happen later on this year around Nigeria, in all the states where we are working. In other words, the Community Development Association that we choose to work with them, this sort of training will be repeated by those who are brought from outside Lagos, who will go back and replicate some of the information, some of the training and all that. Later on today, one of the things we'll be doing is listening to those who are part of this project in the past 2-3 years, who have been our partners. And I think it's a good time to ask them to identify themselves. From Kwara State, I know you came here, just introduce yourself.
And I coordinate HDI in Kwara. We use two local government there, that's Glory East and Glory West. And I hope during the period, when you check the website, though it was the director said earlier, many of our people have phobia in posting information on it. But with the little introduction, to identify some gaps during the period. I was telling somebody yesterday of my experience. The information, the water project with generator, but immediately after the water project, they took the generator away. So it won't work for that period, and after it didn't work again. That's just an eye opener for the local government.